fish dying. Am I going to die too? Where does it come from? Should I be afraid of the water? Who can we get to help?
So once again, good evening, gentlemen. That video is just an introduction to what we're really here for tonight, to talk about our water quality, our harbor, and our rivers surrounding Charlotte County. Our objective tonight, how did we get here? Talk a little bit about how we got here as far as pollution, systems currently installed today, and where we can go in the future. We'll also discuss and review the project area, some of the financials for the proposed project, and the project status of it today. So how did we get here? Water quality. Our local rivers and harbor are significant impact, pollution has a significant impact on our community. This entire community revolves around our waterways. As I've said several times, we don't have a plan B in Charlotte County. We revive on the economy driven by the water, our industry, tourism, our home values, and overall quality of life in the county all comes from our surrounding waters. Part of the problem with our deteriorating water quality in Charlotte County has been from nutrient loading and bacteria from older septic systems. Now on the slide there you'll see a chart of systems that were installed in the county from 1950 up through 2014. Now I just want to point out the red square in the middle. Majority of the systems installed in the Ackerman project area fall into that red square. Not necessarily the volume, but that's how old the systems are. Now one thing that's interesting, if we actually split that square down the middle, or the rectangle, excuse me, down the middle, the systems till 1983 actually required 12 inches of separation between the high water table and the drain field. Post-1983, only 24 inches of separation. So a large amount of those systems still in place don't even meet today's standards for separation between the high water table and the nutrients and bacteria flowing into them and viruses. So what is the problem? As mentioned, seasonally high water ground tables. The areas that we're looking at to convert sooner than later all border our waters. Those systems today minimally treat sewage and percolate through our soils, which eventually makes its way to our canals, rivers, creeks, and estuary shoreline, which then, of course, makes its way to the harbor and out to the Gulf. Our waters are officially impaired by the federal government. That means they do not meet or expect to meet water quality standards. It means they, do not meet them and don't plan to meet them in the future. So this initiative actually meets the criteria of the 4 county commissioner focus areas. For public service, to look after safety and health of our community. Economic and community development, to be good environmental stewardship, enhancement of quality of life, directly falls in line with these projects. Infrastructure, to meet evolving needs of the community. As the community grows, our standards have to change and we have to grow with it. And also to protect our natural resources that make this community what it is today. And of course, efficient and effective government. And through this process, we're transparent, we're held accountable, and we also engage with the citizens, and we also look for innovation. Two things on this slide. The areas on the left, top left, those bullets are all of the things that are impacted in the harbor. Those are what's impaired. Bacteria in the beaches, bacteria in shellfish, fecal chloroform, nutrients including nitrogen, dissolved oxygen, dissolved oxygen for nutrients, dissolved solids, iron, and mercury. Of that list, the top 4 can be aided by removing septic systems and putting the systems on the central service sewer. Part of the grading to do this and why this area was selected is that it has a high impact score. Impact score is made up of multiple things, mostly proximity to surface water, and age of the systems, and the amount of nitrogen loading in the area. And we talked about this morning a little bit, and Dr. Reeves from Western Michigan showed exactly what the nutrient loading of that area is, and what we expect over 10 years of after removing these systems from the area and how the nutrients will flow out of there and clean up the soils. As his projection showed, and my numbers show right there, there's about an annual loading of 30,000 pounds of nitrogen put in that soil every year from the properties in the area. 30,000 pounds. Project area. Project area consists of over 2,000 homes, which about 1,400 of them are occupied. It's bordered to the north by Edgewater, to the south by O'Hara, to the east by the waterways that directly flow into the river, and Collingswood to the west. This project also has a large water improvement project associated with it, which I'll get to in more detail in a moment. Part of this project, besides replacing all the existing water infrastructure, will be also servicing some new customers. 38 new lots will be serviced. Currently, 8 of those lots are occupied by 6 homes. Majority of those lots that will be serviced are in some of our areas that will be later served a few years from now. Talk about the timeline here in a minute. Financials. The MSBU methodology we utilize is one connection, one ERC. As mentioned a moment ago, there's 2,135 possible ERCs with 1,371 of those lots occupied by home. Proposed assessment is 20-year assessment at $575 per year for a total of $11,500 per ERC. The assessment will start next November. Vacant lots, as you can tell by the math on the top there's approximately 600 vacant lots. Vacant lots and people that had multiple lots with their home had the option to defer or to do need a title. Currently, defer option, 18 people have accepted the defer option. We have done extensive outreach, not just letters, but newspapers, social media, office hours, and other things to get hold of these people. A lot of people that we are in contact with, actually, and we're surprised at lower numbers, but our surprise is they actually want to go ahead and pay would be a lower cost today than it would be in the future. As of this time, as we mentioned, it's heavily subsidized cost. Same with the immediate titles, where we received 92 out of 254. Those folks, besides all the other methodologies I just mentioned, these folks, because they're currently water customers, have all been reached by phone and asked if they would like to sign an immediate title or not. So we've reached out to them. We're also going to do another campaign right after Thanksgiving. We have letters and postcards being sent out to everybody that has immediate title or deferment. And remind those folks that until January 3rd to get in their paperwork if they wish to defer or have a immediate title. Costing. Capital cost of the project is approximately $25.5 million. This includes the design, the permitting, the vacuum station to be built, the construction of the system itself, the inspections that are required. Financing will be through state revolving funds, through DEP, and also through the Restore grant. Those two methods cannot be utilized for home connection costs. Home connection costs will be either by other grants or the MSBU process. As I mentioned a moment ago, it was a huge water project on this too. Part of that will approximately a $12.5 million project. Part of that project, besides just removing and replacing water infrastructure, will also include 4,000 feet of a 12-inch line that will run between the backbone, the center of the county, connecting the Ackerman area to the area directly north of that. What that'll help do, along with the booster station, is move water through the system more efficiently and also keep the water fresher. Currently, this area does have some problems with water quality and requires a lot of flushing. And this will help improve that, along with chlorination will also help freshen, keep the water fresh. We'll also be reducing the number of flushing stations down by approximately 10 flushing stations because of this water improvement project, or flow project. Now, I mentioned a moment ago, there's also 6 new homes, or current homes that will be assessed. This is not through the MSBU process. Once the water goes in, they'll be put into a mandatory situation with a current connection cost of approximately $6,792. Project status. We originally had the LPS zone 100% design, but due to the addition of the new booster station, we went back and we have to do some more more design on that, because that's mostly going to be run through the LPS zone. Vacuum zone 1 and 2 are 90% done. Vacuum zone 3 and 4 are 60% done. The water booster is approximately 30%. We expect to go out to bid after the new year for vacuum station and zone 1 and 2. Start construction. And of course, as we did with Spring Lake, we'll start with the water infrastructure first and then move on to the sewer later. As mentioned earlier, we also have a deferment media title deadline of January 3rd of next year. That's all I have, gentlemen.
Very good. Commissioners, any questions or comments for Mr. Rudy before I open up the public hearing? Seeing none. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'll now open up the public hearing. Anyone that will wish to address the board on the Ackerman Sewer Expansion Project will need to fill out a speaker card. Again, they're available at the back of the room. I have a stack of them here right now. I'll go through them. But again, if you do plan on speaking, you need to fill out a card.
I've already filled mine.
The first person is going to come up this evening, Miles Weisman. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. I know you guys have done an exhausting job reviewing the groundwater situation we have for the septic system and that kind of stuff over the years. But I'm not here to complain about have an issue with installing the source system. I do have an issue with the way we're funding it. And you know, when you're I can tell you what nervous me up here, so excuse me. You guys originally put together 5-page one here. Here it is. The Ackerman Sewer Expansion Project Initial Assessment Resolution. I'm familiar with that. And on page, starting at page 7. I'm sorry, you guys. Under section 1.0.3, on page 8, under paragraph C, you put in there, pursuant to the Smart Charlotte 2000